I was going back to the States. I came to visit her. I have no idea where she is.
A native of Lexington is among those missing in Brussels, where her mother last saw her before the terrorist attacks.
Police raids are going on right now in Belgium for suspects believed to be connected to the terrorist attacks. We'll have the latest on the investigation, including who's claiming responsibility.
While investigators piece together what happened, President Obama pledges his support to Belgium.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally.
How the U.S. is responding to today's attacks.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
We begin with a breaking news story we've been tracking all day. A devastating scene in Belgium. Early this morning, explosions rocked the main airport and a metro station in Brussels.
At least 31 people were killed and 200 others injured. Late this afternoon, we learned that a Lexington native and her husband are among those still missing after the attack. Family members say that Carolyn Moore was in Brussels to visit her daughter Stephanie and son-in-law Justin Shults. Moore had just spent a week with her daughter and was at the airport to catch her flight home at Brussels Airport. And Stephanie and her husband had recently moved to Brussels for work. Now, much of Stephanie's family has gathered at her parents' home here in Lexington tonight. Her mother is still in Brussels waiting for answers. Monique Blair is at the live desk with an update on the search for Stephanie. Monique.
Sam, Stephanie Shults is a Lexington native, and many of her family members still live here. Her family has gathered at Stephanie's parents' house in Lexington as they wait to hear any news about the whereabouts of Stephanie and her husband, Justin. Stephanie Shults is a Bryan Station and Transylvania graduate. Her husband, Justin, is from Tennessee. Stephanie's aunt tells us she and her husband moved to Brussels in 2014 for work. Shults' mother, Carolyn Moore, was in Brussels visiting her daughter and son-in-law and was getting ready to board her flight back to Lexington this morning. Moore told a reporter she was in the ticket line. Stephanie and Justin were sitting not far from her when the explosions went off. Moore hasn't seen the couple since.
So she was with you, and now you don't know where is your daughter.
Right. And this is what she looks like.
Can you explain that you are looking for her?
I am looking for her. And I've called, or my husband called the American Embassy, and they're looking for her too.
A Nashville television station is reporting that Justin's brother has said the State Department told the family that Justin and Stephanie are not on the list of known casualties, but are still unaccounted for at this time. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. Also, Congressman Andy Barr's office is telling us they are aware of the missing couple, and they're working with the State Department and the family to try and find them.
Meanwhile, security has been stepped up at airports across Europe and in New York City. Officials in Brussels say the airport that was targeted today will remain closed through tomorrow and possibly longer. The airport's CEO says 2 bombs went off through the airport's departure hall. A 3rd bomb was neutralized. An hour after the explosions at the airport, there was one at the metro station in central Brussels near the U.S. Embassy and European headquarters. The metro system has been shut down. European security officials say they've been bracing for a major terrorist attack for weeks.
We were fearing terrorist attacks, and that has now happened.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for today's attacks. Belgium's federal prosecutor says 2 men dressed in black were responsible for a suicide attack at the airport. Officials are looking for another man as a suspect.
With world attention on Brussels today, our Good Question focuses on the capital city of Belgium. What is Brussels known for, and how large is the city? Well, Belgium's about the size of Maryland, bounded by the North Sea and the Netherlands. To the west is Germany, and the south, the tiny country of Luxembourg and France. The city of Brussels goes back to the 11th century. Today, Brussels is considered one of the most international cities in the world, with about 27% of its population comprised of foreigners. 163 nationalities are represented in that city. Metro Brussels has more than 1 million people. This capital city of Belgium is known for its chocolates, beer, 90 museums, and great European culture centuries old. The missing Lexington native worked in the chocolate industry there. Dutch and French are the main languages. To submit a good question, send an email to goodquestion@wkyt.com. And you can stay up to date on the latest developments out of Brussels by going to our website, WKYT.com, and the WKYT News app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
A windy day across the bluegrass, but the sun is out and temperatures are in the mid-60s. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking some more good weather. Chris, it's a nice day.
Yeah, it's really nice out there. It's a typical nice March day. March, you get that high sunshine now. It can boost those temperatures up, and you also get the gusty winds. That's what we're talking about right now. Last hour, we had a gust in Lexington up to 33 miles per hour, and this evening, we could have some of those gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour at times. So 33 mile per hour gusts. Let's double that for the temperature. It's up to 66 degrees. That's popular for Lexington, Richmond, Frankfort, and Danville. 67 London, Jackson 68. Good folks into Moorhead at 66 degrees as well. Here's a live look out our front door. Hamburg Pavilion in the distance, and bottom of your screen, that is Winchester Road. To our west, way to our west, into the Rocky Mountain storm system that is coming together. For us, that is a Thursday thunder maker. That's right, it's going to bring some showers and thunderstorms into town, and when I come back in a few minutes, we will track that with a brand new up close and personal hour-by-hour forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And because of this warm and windy weather, a red flag warning has been issued for much of the region. Firefighters in Montgomery County say on a day like today, it doesn't take much for a fire to start. Mike Linden is talking to firefighters about the warning.
Fire season is here, and so is a red flag warning for most of central, southern, and eastern Kentucky today.
You have wind, you have low relative humidity, you have dry weather, and all those elements could work together, and wildfires could start and grow pretty quickly.
Area firefighters say even something as small as a cigarette butt can spark up a large fire on a day like today.
We see that locally here. We see, especially out in the country, people driving down these country roads, a lot of dry fuels on the side of the road. One cigarette butt can ignite hundreds of acres.
In Montgomery County, firefighters have put out small fires so far this season, but on a day with a red flag warning, fires can quickly burn out of control.
Once you get in the eastern boundaries of our community, these small fires can get into those areas, and then we have some big issues.
While burning is prohibited by anybody during a red flag warning, Wells says any other time of year to come to the fire department and apply for a burn permit, which grants you access to burn materials on your property for 24 hours and notifies dispatch that you will have a fire on your property that day. Even once the warning expires, Wells says people still need to be careful for the rest of the season.
To use common sense, be thoughtful, know that fire can expand. The small fire that you set out back to burn a couple of tree limbs can end up burning 100 acres.
In Montgomery County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Wells says even though the red flag warning expires tonight, the risk for wildfires will run high again tomorrow.
A southern Kentucky man facing charges after deputies say he was setting land on fire on purpose. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Laurel County. Deputies say the man, 36-year-old Daniel Day, was setting a fire on Lily School Road behind a service station. Firefighters say Day also had a small propane torch on him. Day faces several charges, including giving an officer a fake name. Deputies say he tried to use his brother's name. In Harlan County, state police are investigating after someone found possible human remains. Troopers say the remains were found in a wooded area off of Mountain Oaks subdivision near the Kaywood community. Troopers say the remains are in the same general area as a reported missing person, but they're still trying to identify the person. And in Marion County, state police are investigating a shooting. It happened about 5:15 on Monday on Oregon Lane near Lebanon. Troopers tell us one person was shot. That person was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. State police are still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting, but at last check, no one had been arrested.
New tonight, people who buy prepaid cell phones will have to pay an extra fee to call 911 under a bill that's passed a House committee. The bill would impose a 93-cent fee to support local 911 systems. Local governments pay for the systems with money collected from a fee on phone services. Cell phone customers with 2-year contracts pay a fee of 70 cents per month. The committee says prepaid phone users should have a higher fee because they, on average, purchase phone cards 9 times a year instead of 12 times. Retailers say the bill would cost them too much money. A new proposal being discussed in the Senate would make the universities of Kentucky and Louisville compete for something other than basketball titles. The proposal would pit the two universities against each other in a competition of education standards. The winner would get 100% of their budget allocation, while the loser would get less. The schools would be rewarded for producing more degrees in science, technology, engineering, math, and health fields. The terrorist attacks in Brussels have ignited an old fight among the presidential candidates.
And Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear filing a lawsuit against Volkswagen. Bill Bryant has details in the bottom line.
Good evening. Today's terror attacks in Brussels brought international security issues into the discussion in this highly charged U.S. election year. With a series of western states holding presidential nominating contests today, Republican frontrunner Donald Trump was quick to say the day's events in Belgium don't surprise him. Trump stressed that he is getting support in part because of his tough stance on border security. GOP candidates John Kasich and Ted Cruz also offered condolences to victims and promised to root out perpetrators in the future. Democrat Hillary Clinton said the U.S. has to be smart and strong in dealing with terrorism, but called it unrealistic to completely shut down America's borders. Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear says consumer protection will be a main emphasis of his office. Today, Beshear announced he is filing a lawsuit against automaker Volkswagen and connected brands Audi and Porsche. The suit alleges the company intentionally deceived Kentucky consumers, thereby breaking state consumer protection law. Volkswagen has acknowledged it used dishonest claims about clean diesel technology because the automobiles had rigged software that cheated emission tests. The lawsuit seeks restitution for those who have those vehicles registered in Kentucky. Polls close a little later this evening in Adair County. Voters have been deciding today whether to allow alcohol sales. Right now, Adair County is dry. McCreary County recently voted to remain dry after a spirited wet-dry race there. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell issued a statement about the day's events in Brussels, saying Americans are saddened and horrified by what happened. McConnell is in Kentucky this week, making several stops around the Commonwealth. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
There's a good chance you or someone you know has diabetes. And in an effort to raise awareness, the American Diabetes Association is giving out Diabetes 2 tests for its annual Alert Day.
They're asking people to take 1 minute out of their day to see if they're at risk for type 2 diabetes. Today, the association teamed up with Kroger Pharmacy to pass out free diabetes risk tests.
There are multiple people who are at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. And we also know that there's a lot we can do to prevent or even delay type 2 diabetes. So if people don't know their risk for developing type 2 diabetes, then it's hard for them to take advantage of those programs.
The test is easy to take and doesn't hurt. You can go to a Kroger Pharmacy and take a questionnaire to determine your risk.